At 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
All right, I just finished the review, but I forgot that I didn't put this at the beginning, so I did want to let y'all know this is a spoiler video. So if you don't want to get spoiled, get your ass off this video, like ASAP. But if you already seen the movie, please stick around and let me know what y'all thought about the movie, because I would love to discuss this with y'all. All right? Bet. All right, y'all. So I just left from seeing the movie Weapons, and it is as advertised. Now, it is a movie that shares multiple vantage points, which I thought was an amazing touch. Having these centralized characters, but seeing the story from each one of their points of views and then making it meet up in the middle is pretty much what the plot of the movie was when it comes down to getting down to the bottom of what the fuck is going on in this fucking town at this fucking school. So the very first person that we meet is the teacher, Justine Gandy, or Candy, I couldn't make it out, played by Julia, I almost said Stiles, the one who plays Silver Surfer. Okay, so Julia Gardner. So she's a teacher at Maybrook Elementary, kindergarten through 5th grade, and she is a teacher in a class. One day, she goes to school the next day, and nobody shows up except for one kid, a kid named Alex. So she's kind of confused, and it gets to the point where they find out every last one of the kids only in her classroom have gone missing except for Alex. Okay, so they hold a city hall meeting, not a city hall meeting, like a school PTO meeting. And they're, rightfully so, like, pissed the fuck off. Like, why is every child in this school okay except for the 17 that went missing in an 18 people class? Like, where is my kid at? That's where we meet Josh Brolin, his character Archer. And he asks, like what's going on? Like, how come out of all these kids that's gone missing, it's only in your classroom? She goes up and she just says, like, hey, like, I understand, but I want answers the same way y'all do. Everybody's thinking it's bullshit, but it's really not. So she goes to the liquor store. She's stressed out. While at the liquor store, we meet this junkie who is trying to get some money for drugs, but portraying it as he's trying to visit his brother. She, of course, says no while she's in the store, and she comes out. The townsfolk are all upset with her because they think she has something to do with the disappearance of the children. At this point, Archer, Josh Brolin, is stalking her. So she finally gets home. She sees what she thinks is the truck and these two people. And when she sees these two people, she's like, all right, let me hurry up and get in the house before they get close to me, just in case they're with the townsfolk trying to get me. So she goes in the house. Nothing. She looks out the window. Nothing. She sits down, has a drink, knock on the door, or rings the doorbell. She goes. Nothing. She's like, what the fuck? She looks out the window. Nothing. As soon as she leaves, boom, 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 boom. Somebody starts banging at the door. What the fuck is going on? She looks out the peephole. Nobody's there. She goes outside with a can of mace. As she's outside, she's looking around. She's looking around. Did she see something at that point? She sees witch spray painted on her car. That's what it was. So she sees witch spray painted on her car. She goes in. She's drunk. She goes to sleep. She wakes up. When she wakes up, there is a mysterious figure on her fucking ceiling, and I just got chills thinking about it. Whew. It turns out it's a dream. So we think. So we do switch vantage points. The next vantage point that we get is Archer, which is Josh Brolin's character. Archer is the father of Matthew, who is one of the kids that went missing. When he finds out his son goes missing, he becomes like fully like engaged with the manhunt. Who did this to the kids? Where are these kids at? We talked about from the vantage point of Justine, where he's blaming her, like, you had something to do with it. So he decides that he's going to take matters into his own hands, and he's looking at his camera footage, and he sees his son run off. He can see it. He does his research, finds all the other parents where they live at, and he asks them, hey, can I see y'all footage? He eventually does. He is able to see the footage of another kid, and he maps it out using just a straight line theory. Like, hey, if they all ran from a straight line, this is the point of where they're at. He circles that point and has the vicinity. As he's driving back to go home after after interrogating essentially one of the parents, he sees your girl, the teacher. He pulls up on her, and it's like he's about to confront her. We switch vantage points again. Actually, before we switch vantage points, they like right at the end of his, it shows Justine get attacked by the principal, Marcus, who's played by Benedict Wong. And then that's when we switch vantage points. And this time we go to a cop named Paul. Paul is actually the ex of Justine. So one day he's at work trying to solve what's going on with the kids. He runs past Justine. They wave awkwardly. Justine invites him to come out to have a drink with her. He is currently sober. And apparently whatever happened in their relationship had something to do with the fact that they couldn't handle their liquor, because they kept playing on that point. But Paul, he ends up drinking with her, which he was not supposed to do. And when he drinks with her, they end up having sex. And at this point, he actually has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend knows that Justine is his ex. She ends up assaulting Justine and starts pouring liquor on her. And from Paul's standpoint, he ends up running into the junkie that we were talking about. When he runs into that junkie, he ends up seeing him trying to steal from like this like abandoned building. And so he's like, hey, stop. So the junkie like takes off running. He ends up tracking him down, and he like catches him. He puts him on his butt. And then when he picks him up, he's like, hey, I'm going to pat you down. Is there anything that's going to stick me? He's a junkie, y'all. He puts his hand in his pocket and gets stabbed by a needle. And the first thing he asks is, do you have AIDS? Like, look, I don't need none. No, that wasn't that part. That wasn't that part. So scratch that. We about to get to that point though. So after he punches the junkie in the face, lays him out, he warns him, I never want to see you again, like ever. So when he does that, we fast forward basically, and we get to when he goes to work, he sees his boss. His boss is his girlfriend's dad. He knows that she cheated. He knows that he cheated on her. So he's pissed off. So Paul is like, yeah, let me get outside real quick. When he goes outside, guess who he sees? The junkie. He races after the junkie. And when he finally catches him, the reason why I got confused is because the vantage point of what I was about to explain actually happens with the junkie. So we'll get to that in just a moment. So now is when we get to the junkie. His name is James. So Junkie James, when we get to his vantage point. So what he was going through was he was just trying to get some money for some crack. That's it. He couldn't get no money. So he's going around breaking into different places to steal stuff to get money. One of the houses that he breaks into is Alex's house. And from Justine's standpoint, we see what's in his house, but we don't know what's in his house. The only thing we see is two like figures in the house sitting down on the couch, like blank. We don't know what's going on. But James breaks into that house and he sees what's going on. As he's stealing out of the house, he turns around and he sees Alex's parents, mummified, just sitting there. No expression, not even blinking for real, just almost dead to the world, pretty much dead to the world. So when he notices like, oh, they're not paying attention, he continues to steal. He keeps going. So it's a door. He's like, I wonder what's in this door. He opens the door, goes downstairs. Y'all, why are the kids in the basement? All of the kids, all 17 of the kids in the basement. They all snap their necks at him and stares at him. Scared the shit out of me. He takes off running, and he finally gets outside as the parents are trying to attack him. He finally gets outside. He's running to the police station. As soon as he gets there, we switch back to the vantage point of Paul. He sees James, and he just told him, hey, I bet not ever see you again. So he chases after James. James runs. He lives in the woods as a homeless guy. When he gets to the woods, it's this weird lady. If you even want to call her that. It's a weird lady sitting there saying, hey, calling him to come over. We're like, what the fuck? Why is this person in the woods? That's what he says too. So he runs to his tent, hops into his tent. While he's in the tent, he zips it down, like trying to keep her out of it, and somebody's walking up to it. We don't know who it is. As the person's unzipping it, he stabs him in the face with some crack needles. And so then that's when he stabs Paul. That's when Paul asks him, do you have AIDS? He puts him in the police car, and he's like, you're going to jail. He's like, no, don't take me to jail because I know where the kids are. So he's like, you better not be bullshitting me. He's like, I'm not, like, for real. They go to the kid's house. Let's call it 2 o'clock, right? Well, to Alex's house. Let's say it's 2 o'clock in the daytime. He goes to the door. You can see him having a conversation. Who he having a conversation with? Because the people are like, they're mummified. They don't talk. So, but you see him talking to somebody. So we all in the theater like, what the fuck going on? He walks in the house. Man, it go like hours later. Let's call it 10 o'clock. It's nighttime now. The dude is still in the car. The junkie James is still in the car, banging on it, like asking for help. Paul comes back out the house, mummified, just like we seen prior in Justine's point of view. So in Justine's, we got to go back. In Justine's point of view, she fell asleep because she was drunk, staking out at Alex's house, because her and Alex were the last two left from the class. They were the only ones who weren't affected by whatever the fuck was going on. So she knew something was going on with Alex's house, because she had looked in there and seen the two figures that turned out to be his parents. And when she passes out drunk, somebody snips a lock of her hair. So you see how it's kind of adding up. Don't nothing happen to Alex, but everything in the people's class does, and something's going on in his house. So something's going on with Alex, we would think, right? So he goes in. When he comes out, he's like raging, trying to like get James. He opens the door, drags James into the house, and then that's it. We switch vantage points, and this time we go to Marcus. Marcus is the principal at the school. So what happens with Marcus is what really, it lets us know what's going on in this movie. Okay, so with him, he ends up going into work, and he has appointments set up with some of the parents. One of the parents that comes in is Alex's aunt, his aunt Gladys. Gladys turns out to be the same lady that we seen in the woods that was trying to get James to come over. Now shit's starting to make sense. Turns out Gladys is, she's crazy as fuck. She talks to Marcus. Marcus is insisting, hey, I need to talk to the parents. I can't talk to you. Has to be the parents. So she's like, okay. As she's talking to him, she looks at his ribbons, like academic ribbons. She ends up taking them. We don't see that she takes them, but she takes them. Next scene, Marcus and his boyfriend are in the house watching TV. He gets a knock at the door. You see the silhouette. It's the aunt. Aunt Gladys is there. He opens the door. Gladys, what's going on? Why you here? I'm so sorry to interrupt you on a Saturday. Can I come in? Reluctantly, he says no. Marcus is like, nah, me and my boyfriend doing this. The boyfriend's like, nah, come on. She needs some water. Let her get some water. She comes in to get some water, right? She requested it be put in a bowl. I already knew some shit was going to happen when she said put it in a bowl. So They pour it and they kind of confused. She pulls out a stick, like a switch, like a twig with like thorns on it. She pulls it out and he's like, hey, aren't those my ribbons? And she was like ignoring the question. And she was like, hey, can you come in for a second? Talking to the boyfriend. Why he went to her, I don't fucking know. But he goes to her and she snips a lock of his hair. He's like, I think she just snipped my hair. At this point, Marcus is like, oh yeah, we calling the police. She wrapping the hair around the stick with his ribbons. So it's Marcus's ribbons, his boyfriend's hair. She cuts her finger on the thorn, starts rubbing her blood all on the stuff, right? She looks at him. She snaps the twig. She rings a bell. He goes fucking crazy. He starts attacking his boyfriend, headbutting him constantly, headbutting him. And you get one of the most gruesome scenes in the whole movie. It is disgusting. It's like when Glenn got his face beat in by Negan in Walking Dead. Eyes bulging out, head smushed in, headbutting, kills his boyfriend, right? So disturbing. And then that is how Marcus ends up getting to attacking Justine. He's being hypnotized. She's using like voodoo essentially. And he attacks Justine. And then that's when we switch the vantage points to the final scene of Alex. Alex, of course, is the little boy who did not go missing, but was in the class with the kids who did go missing. One day, his dad picks him up, and his dad tells him, hey, tonight, you know your Aunt Gladys is moving in with us. He's like, nah, man. Like, why does she got to come here? He's like, well, Aunt Gladys is very sick, so we're the only family she has. We have to be the ones to look after her. So she ends up coming. It's very late. He doesn't communicate with her, though. The next morning, he wakes up. He goes downstairs. His parents are sitting there like in a trance, mummified, just like they are, but to a lesser degree. They can still kind of communicate, but just barely. It's like yes, no, hi, like shit like that. It's like nothing crazy. And he's like, what's going on with my parents? She's like, nothing, they're fine. And she's trying to talk to him and calm him down. And he like smacks her hand like, what's going on? That's when you see her true colors. She like, have a seat. Like I'm telling you now, sit down. When he sits down, she does a display of her powers, the voodoo, the witchcraft that she does. So as she's doing all of her stuff and she's wrapping the hair on the twig, cutting herself, she's like, hey, are you paying attention? He's paying attention. She rubs the blood. She snaps it. When she snaps it, they start stabbing themselves in the face with forks, just stabbing themselves. Pause. And as they're stabbing themselves, he's like visibly like, oh my God, what's going on with my parents? He's trying to stop the dad. And she tells him like, this is what I can do to your parents if you don't do what I tell you to do. Now take your ass upstairs, no dinner for you. The next day, she then tells him, when you go to school today, I need you to take the belongings of every last one of your classmates, right? So he takes all these name tags, takes them back. She creates this recipe. She spits in it. She causes the conundrum that leads to all of these kids disappearing. She mind controlled them to come to the house. Her plan is to steal the youth from those kids and give it to herself because she's sick. She's going through whatever she's going through. She looks horrible, like cancer or something. It's bad, y'all. It's bad. All right, so then we switch to the vantage points of both Justine and Archer, and that map that I was talking about, the straight line theory and the circle. She tells him, hey, that's Alex's house. So they go to Alex's house. They see that the police is there. So they're like, hey, should we like knock? Like, what should we do? At this point, Aunt Gladys she's already told Alex that they're leaving that day. So they're about to go. But then they get interrupted because of the fact that, like, they're on to the fact that something's going on at this house. So she mind controls Paul, the cop, to wave them in. When they come in, Paul's in the corner. I mean, Paul's, like, in front of them looking weird. James is in the corner. They don't even see him. She lines up all this salt, and she warns Alex, don't cross the salt. As soon as they cross the salt, all hell breaks loose, y'all. They get attacked by Junkie James. They get attacked by Paul the cop, and the parents attack Alex. They're going crazy trying to get Alex too, because he stepped over the line to see what was going to happen. So we get this whole little fight sequence. Justine ends up killing the cop. She uses a potato peeler to peel his face. She shoots him in the throat, shoots him in the head, takes the gun, shoots Junkie James. As Junkie James gets shot, he's wrestling with Archer. Archer's looking upside down, and he sees that the kids are downstairs. So he's like, oh shit, where's my son? So as he's looking for his son, he goes down to the basement. As he's looking for the son, y'all, this is my vantage point. It is literally the eyes of Archer, and he is holding the camera, looking at each kid. It's not this one. It's not this one. He turns, and this crazy bitch is laying on the fucking ground, like scrunched over, and hops up and gets him. But she done goddamn it got him, man. The mind control him. So once she mind controls him, she sicks him onto Justine. He's up there choking the shit out of Justine. While all of that's happening, Alex finds himself in the room where the tree is that's giving her all the voodoo powers. He takes a branch from it, takes her hair, snaps the branch just like she did, rings the bell. And guess who guess who attacks her? The kids. So the kids is 17 kids running after this lady, this old ass scary looking lady too, chasing her through the neighborhood, and this is actually funny. And you get the most poetic thing ever. The kids are the ones who end her reign, ripping her to shreds, literally eating her and ripping her jaw like from here to here off. Disgusting, grotesque, amazing scene. So amazing. It was so good. The score was great. The movie was great. I loved it. I will tell y'all this though. Not a 10 out of 10. Not a 9 out of 10. I give it like an 8.3. Only because it wasn't that scary. It was some fucked up freaky shit in there, but it wasn't that scary. It's good. It's more good than it is scary. I give it like an 8.3. I give it an 8.3. It was a good movie. Not great, but good. And certainly not perfect, but I would definitely see it again. I think y'all should see it. It ends with a mystery. Some of the kids talk, which is being said by the narrator. Some of them don't, and it just has the eyes of Matthew, Archer's son, just looking at the camera, and it ends. But I'm so excited to see what y'all think about the movie. This, when y'all going through it, y'all might end up coming back to this video afterwards, but I had a lot of fun making it. I'm not gonna lie, man. But when y'all go see the movie, let me know what y'all think. I know a lot of y'all have already seen it. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I'm looking forward to talking about it to anybody who wants to talk. All right. But until then, y'all know the routine. We're leaving this one in the rear view. I'll holler at y'all later.